Recently, I've been very intrigued with vintage recipes, and I found this Civil War peanut brittle. Civil War was from 1861 to 1865, and honestly, this recipe is pretty, um, well, very simple. Primitive, that's what I was gonna say, but I learned a really cool trick. So the ingredients are 1 cup of sugar and 2 tablespoons of butter, and then 3/4 cup peanuts. But I learned this super cool trick, and at first I was a little hesitant because it just felt like it's nothing's happening. So it took a long time, and I'm using medium heat. The butter is slowly melting. Maybe I should have melted the butter a little bit first, but that's how the recipe said, to melt it all together. And here you can see that the butter has melted and the sugar has absorbed the butter. But then I was trying to make it flat so the heat can evenly distribute it. And I mixed it a little bit and I let it sit a little bit, like maybe like 30-40 seconds, and we're finally seeing some caramel. And honestly, now I understand why so many people were missing their tooth back then. um I mean, the recipe came out pretty good, but yeah, it's a little hard. So, not for weak tooth. But I kept mixing it and I stopped for like 10 seconds and I mixed it again, just to make sure that nothing is burning, but also still melting on the bottom. And eventually it looked like this after about 10 minutes. And then I started panicking a little bit because I noticed that the butter is separating. So I wasn't sure if that was supposed to happen, but you know what? At the end, everything it turned out, so trust the process. I thought maybe I have to drain the butter, but no. A few seconds ago, I showed you a bowl with cold water, and the trick is to get a spoonful of the caramel, put in the cold water, and if it comes out and it's hard, that means the caramel is ready. And it was hard, and I think I'm ready, but I still give it like maybe like 18 seconds before adding in my peanut, just peanut, not peanut butter, just regular peanuts, adding it in, and then mixing it. I turned off the heat, but it's still warm, so I want to mix everything together before it starts harden. As you can see, it's already starting to harden, which is fine, but you want to make sure that everything is nicely incorporated, mixed in together. See, the recipe is pretty primitive, so simple. I always use a silicone mat for anything like candy or chocolate because it's non-stick and it's so easy to remove, and it's pretty easy to clean too. So with the spatula, I flatten it down really fast because it starts drying as soon as you take it out from the pan. And I had some leftover caramel on the bottom, so I scooped it in the middle. And then it took about maybe 10 minutes to get fully hard. In the middle, it was still a little warm, but it was already hard enough to break it down. And I I really liked it. It's very easy, but for my personal liking, was still a little bit hard. But it's normal. It's like very normal. I think I'm one of those people who don't like super hard, crunchy stuff. But it came out pretty good. Very simple. So this is what they eat in the 1800s. Not too bad. Easy to make, and there was no splashing of the sugar, which I'm very happy about.